Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of Fall 2025. At this time, I'd like to ask the audience to please stand for our national anthem and remain standing for the invocation. Lights? Our national anthem. Audience, please remain standing. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Philip Nealon of the Nursing Department to give the invocation. Dr. Nealon.
Let us pray. Good and loving Creator, we come before you this afternoon asking your blessing upon these wonderful future nurses as they celebrate this remarkable achievement in their lives. May they never forget this day, nor all the dedication, sacrifice, and perseverance that brought them to this milestone. As they begin their calling as nurses, may they always remember that every person entrusted to their care is someone in need of compassion, dignity, and hope. Grant them calming words for those whose hearts are heavy. Grant them the ability to bring comfort to those who suffer, both physically and emotionally. Fill their hearts with compassion that they may always recognize that each person they serve is a unique and precious gift. Help them to always find meaning and joy in the work that they do, even in the most challenging moments. May their lives be filled with joy, happiness, laughter, and love, today and always. For this we pray.
Thank you, Dr. Nealon. Audience, please be seated. Graduates, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this has become a favorite part of this ceremony for me. It's a place that we thank those who are part of what we call the first responder team. When things happen locally, nationally, and internationally, these are the people that step up. So if you're a military, any military United States, active military, please stand up. If you're a student serving, please stand up. Retired military, please stand up. And stay standing, please. Are you a fire department member? Police officers, please stand up. QCC nursing graduates who happen to be in the audience, please stand up. faculty who once graduated from this program, please stand up. Nurses all over the world, please stand up. And by nurses, registered nurses, LPNs, please stand up. Oh, stay standing. No, don't sit down. Please stay standing. Nursing assistant, please stand up. Public safety, please stand up. If in an emergency you're the first person they call, please stand up. What COVID-19 taught us was that there are a lot of us are the first responders without the degrees. Please stand up. Students, this is the team that you're going to join. Give them an applause. You may be seated. Thank you so much. At this time, I'd like to introduce the audience to Dr. Phyllis Curtis Tweed, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, and she will deliver the President's address. Dr. Tweed.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. On behalf of Dr. Christine Mangino, it is a great honor to stand here and share with you this afternoon. We are gathered here to mark an enormous milestone in the journey of our nursing students, our nursing graduates. The candlelighting and pinning ceremony is a powerful symbol. It's one that represents the knowledge that you've gained, the compassion that you have cultivated and continue to cultivate, and also the great responsibility that you're preparing to embrace. But before I talk with you, I want to begin by recognizing some of the people who have made this moment possible. To start, to Dr. Susan Reichert, to our amazing nursing faculty, thank you for your expertise, your standards, your unwavering commitment to preparing nurses who lead with skill, integrity, and compassion. The mentorship of this amazing faculty lights the way for our students. And then to our families and friends who are gathered here today. Is there anyone here today who is here in support of these amazing graduates? Your encouragement, your patience, your belief through those long nights, those demanding schedules, and moments of doubt, your love and support have sustained these students. And this achievement belongs to you as well. So on their behalf, I want to thank you. And to our nursing graduates, the light that you will hold today and the pin that you will receive, they connect you to a powerful legacy. It's an enduring legacy. They reflect the work of nurses who came before you. Not only Florence Nightingale and Clara Barton, but also people like Mary Seacole and Susie Walking Bear Yellowtail and countless others across cultures, communities, and generations who brought comfort, dignity, and hope where it has been needed most. This ceremony, the light and the pin, they have been passed from nurse to nurse now for generations. And today, that legacy is yours. And what an awesome responsibility. You have already shown a lot of what it takes. You have been resilient. You've shown discipline. You've shown an unwavering commitment to learning. You've mastered science and skill, A&P. You've also begun to develop the heart of a nurse. Nursing is not only about what you do, it's who you are. It's how you listen. It's how you care. It's how you stand with others in extreme moments of vulnerability. The candle that you will hold symbolizes trust. Patients will place their lives, their fears, their tears, their hopes in your hands. It symbolizes advocacy. Use your voice for those who cannot. And it also symbolizes service. Meeting people with professionalism, respect, compassion, even in the most difficult times. Now, as you move towards the successful completion of your NCLEX exams into clinical practice, and throughout your careers, no doubt there will be challenges. This moment marks your commitment to professionalism, not as a set of rules, but as a way of being. Nurses are professionals. You are choosing integrity when it is hard, teamwork when you are tired, and empathy when it matters most. When those difficult times and moments arise, remember the light, remember the pin, remember this ceremony. Let it remind you why you chose this profession, or maybe it chose you, and of course, the difference only you can make. We here at QCC are tremendously proud of you. May the light that you carry and the pin you receive guide you towards excellence, integrity, and compassionate care. Congratulations, and welcome to the next step of your incredible journey.
Thank you, Dr. Tweed. I'd like to invite Dr. Susan Reichart, the chairperson of the nursing department, to deliver the chairperson's address. Dr. Reichart.
Good afternoon, everyone. Vice President and Provost, Dr. Phyllis Curtis Tweed, our esteemed cabinet members, faculty, friends, and family, thank you all for joining us today. It is with great honor and joy that I stand before you as we acknowledge an extraordinary group of individuals, the Fall 25 graduating class of the Queensborough Community College Nursing Program. Graduates, today is not just the end of a chapter, it's the culmination of countless late nights, early mornings, clinical shifts, lectures, exams, and deeply emotional moments. It's a testament to your determination, your resilience, and your unshakable perseverance. Nursing is a profession nursing is not a profession one enters lightly. It demands not only intellect, but also compassion, endurance, and strength of character. And every one of you here has shown that and more. You have faced pressures and difficulties both in your studies and lives, and yet you never gave up. You adapted, you pushed forward, and you emerged stronger. But you did not walk this journey alone. We celebrate the professors who challenged you, yet always lent a helping hand, the mentors who guided you, the office and lab staff who supported you, and the classmates who became your second family. We applaud your families and friends who stood beside you through the highs and lows, cheering you on when that finish line seemed so far away. Graduates, you're entering a field that is more than a career. It is a calling, and the world needs you. It needs your courage, your heart, and your commitment to healing. You have already proven you have what it takes. Above all, never lose sight of the profound privilege and responsibility that comes with being a nurse. Cherish the trust that is placed in you by your parents, of course, yes, and your patients and your families, and always strive to uphold the highest standards of ethical practice and compassionate care. So today, as you light your candles and receive your pins, do so with great pride. You have not only earned your place in this profession, you have become a part of its future. We expect great things from you, and please know that we, your QCC nursing family, will always be here for you. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Reichart. The applause from the graduates when you came up was quite telling. Really respect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, a graduating student, Tatiana Politskaya, will sing a song to you from her fellow graduates. Just know that I'm her manager. Tatiana?
Quando sogno l'orizzonte mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce una stanza quando mancan sole. Se non ci sei tu con me su le finestre mostra il tutto il mio cuore che hai acceso, chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che io non mai veduto vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so non esistono più. It's time to say goodbye. Quando sei lontana sogno l'orizzonte e mancano le parole. Io sono sì con me, con me. Tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me. Mio sole, tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che io l'ho mai veduto, vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so non esistono più. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so non esistono più. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò io
That was my Jennifer Hudson moment. I'm her manager. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, a year from now, there's going to be a patient on a cardiac floor someplace, and a certain nurse is assigned to that patient, and suddenly the cardiac monitor is going to have a certain kind of rhythm. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Professor Michelle Rossi, who's also one of the advisors to the Student Nursing Association, will deliver the congratulatory address.
Good afternoon, distinguished faculty, proud families, honored guests, and most importantly, our great graduating nursing students. Thank you, graduates, for the honor to deliver your congratulatory address. I am honored beyond belief. I'm actually in awe. I myself, a proud Queensborough Community College nursing graduate, and now I have the honor to stand on the same stage alongside you. This time as an assistant professor of nursing. I'd like to address where this college led me. It cultivated a competent, exceptional nurse, and I hope it gives you insight to where our students will leverage in life. I'm a native New Yorker and long-term resident of Flushing, Queens. Like most of our students, I come from extremely humble beginnings. Queensborough gave me the level of expertise to be 10 steps ahead of most graduate nurses. This was done by an extremely detailed curriculum led by experts in the field of nursing. I have managed busy emergency departments, functioned in a community hospital as an emergency room nurse caring for traumas on a regular basis. I worked on a hematology oncology unit for many years and cared for the sick and dying as a palliative hospice care nurse. I'm proud to be an expert legal witness for medical malpractice, and I'm so extremely proud to be an educator here at Queensborough Community College. I couldn't have done any of this without Queensborough Community College. Queensborough Community College cultivates winners. Without a doubt, they are leaders and in a class of their own. I often tell my students that the world is your oyster, and anything you desire fiercely enough is already yours. If you can conquer great things as you have done today, you can do anything. It's important to note this couldn't have been done without the graduates' extreme discipline and mental fortitude. To give you insight, their academic experience at Queensborough Community College is about two and a half years of nursing, and this doesn't include all the prerequisites that they must ace to be accepted into our program. It teaches everything from community health, fundamentals of nursing, maternal fetal medicine, labor and delivery, medical surgical nursing, pediatric nursing, care for the hematology oncology patient, and the list goes on and on. This is an extremely short list of their academic learning. I have omitted likely close to 50 other topics. In addition, they attend clinical for 8+ hours, providing direct patient care. They do this in a diligent, pristine manner and have a reputation amongst all local hospitals. They are the best. They never sit down. Staff nurses often praise them by saying, "I can't believe they changed all the patient's wounds. They medicated my patients. They monitor vital signs and mental status for signs and symptoms consistent with deterioration." In fact, 2 semesters ago, 2 students at a local hospital during our clinical rotation noted that a patient had a change in their mental status. The patient was extremely difficult to arouse, and the patient was assessed by these students, and they brought it to my attention that the patient had a dislocated IV. They began to critically think that the antibiotic that the patient was receiving to treat a systemic infection was not infusing properly. They escalated this immediately to the clinical team. The IV was replaced, and the patient began to receive the medication appropriately to combat their systemic infection. The following week, we returned to the unit, as we usually do. We checked on our patient. The patient was alert and oriented. The patient woke and praised the students, remembering vaguely that they were physically on site advocating for them. I pulled these students out of the room and told them it is likely that their excellent clinical assessment played a role in this patient's survival. Queensborough Community College has a reputation. It is the best of the best here in New York City. Make no mistake, whoever you are staring at on our stage this afternoon was picked with intent. They went through a vigorous interview process. They went through a vigorous interview process. They had to complete a nursing entry exam. Their grades were analyzed closely. We predicted that they would be successful on the basis of a barrage of tests and apparent academic excellence. They are special, and we were right. They made it to the finish line. Today, we gather not simply to celebrate the completion of a program, but to honor the culmination of perseverance, discipline, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to the care for others. This moment represents countless hours of study, clinical practice, self-doubt overcome, and resilience demonstrated in moments both seen and unseen. Graduates, you have chosen a profession that demands both scientific precision and profound compassion. Nursing is not merely what you do, it is who you are becoming. You have learned to balance evidence with empathy, skill with humility, and strength with grace. In doing so, you have prepared yourselves to enter a profession rooted in trust, advocacy, and service to humanity. According to Gallup's annual Most Honest and Ethical Professions poll, nurses have been ranked the most trusted profession for 23 consecutive years. This is not done by accident. It is learned through action, integrity, and advocacy. Nurses have had a profound historical impact and have without a doubt changed the trajectory of health and clinical outcome. Florence Nightingale, the founder of nursing, was known to have improved sanitation during the Crimean War, dramatically reducing mortality rates. Nurse theorists like Henderson and Oram shaped nursing's intellectual foundation. Nurses have historically advocated for patients' rights, ethical practice, and social justice. Nurses like Bobby Campbell and Maggie Murray played a profound role during the HIV/AIDS epidemic, helping establish compassionate patient-centered care models when fear led many to avoid patients. They advocated for touch, presence, and humanity in care. These nurses additionally provided end-of-life and palliative care with dignity. I'd like to also add, in addition to these heroes, the professors sitting here in our audience have also cared for those inflicted with HIV and AIDS during times where the management and care was extremely difficult because of our poor understanding of the disease process. They are heroes, and I am proud to work alongside them. You see, nurses, we run towards any sort of disaster. We are soldiers on the forefront of crisis. We are never not a nurse. In the hospital and out of the hospital, our primary goal is to preserve life. Mr. Rogers made a famous statement that was replayed several times during the aftermath of September 11th. When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." In the backdrop of this video, nurses, doctors, and first responders were highlighted because we put our patients first. Jimmy Kimmel spoke 13 minutes during his late-night show regarding a traumatic event that transpired to his newborn son. I often play this video to my students to place an emphasis on the benefits of a focal assessment. He states that his wife had a normal pregnancy, all screening was normal. Soon after delivery, a nurse performed a focused cardiopulmonary assessment, noting an anomaly with the child. She escalated this immediately to the medical team, and as you guessed, she was correct. The child was diagnosed with tetralogy of Fallot and pulmonary atresia, requiring emergent surgical intervention, or this could prove deadly. He stated over and over, if it was not for this nurse, Nanush, his son could have deteriorated and or worse. An excerpt from Dr. Kevin reads the following. Today we manage complex patients in the intensive care unit who would die with all the sophisticated technology around them, keeping them alive. Who is managing all of that? The nurse. We keep tiny premature babies alive in the newborn intensive care unit. We manage your cardiac arrest in the emergency room, your life-threatening gunshot wound. We deal with an overwhelmed mental health system, often dealing with violent patients. We make sure the condition you were admitted with doesn't worsen, that the surgery you had, you do not develop complications. Families, friends, and loved ones, please check in on your nurses' well-being. Ensure that they are taking care of themselves. Nurses have a tendency to care deeply for themselves. They are the silent heroes on the forefront of disaster, running very often on empty. We consume the heartbreak of those during the most vulnerable moments of their lives. We comfort, we heal, we cure. Sometimes we win the battle of illness, and sometimes we lose. Remind your nurse standing on the stage if they entered any situation and added value to that patient's overall condition, then at the end of the day, they must understand they are valuable. As any seasoned nurse will tell you, when we leave the hospital, we do not stop thinking of you. We think of every single action we took, and sometimes we are hard on ourselves. We scrutinize the care we deliver, praying that we did everything possible to ensure your safety. You see, a nurse doesn't become a nurse for anything else than sheer and utter desire to be a helper. As a young nurse on a hematology oncology unit, my nurse manager nailed a sign to the wall, and it read, "Angels gather here." She was referencing each and every nurse who walked those halls so desperately battling the viciousness of cancer. Today, I note that on this stage, angels gather here. Thank you for choosing us to educate you. We are humans. We're not perfect, but thank you for becoming our colleagues. I pray that you pave all the roads that you travel down. I pray you find the light during any darkness, and I pray you know that your life has made a difference in so many, including myself. I pray for your health, happiness, and I pray that you will never stop reaching for the stars. May God continue to bless and protect your life and those that you hold dear to your heart. In the wise words of Maya Angelou, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Dear graduates, protect your patients as you would protect your family. We can only propel goodness and integrity by doing this. Godspeed, graduates. I now invite you to congratulate our graduates with a quick round of applause.
Thank you, Professor Rossi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to make a quick thank you to the QPAC team. This amazing event doesn't happen without the help behind the scenes. Professor Rossi and Professor Pagano are the advisors to you, ladies and gentlemen. The administrative staff that you've submitted your application to, you often see them in the nursing office before you come to us. Ms. Nicole Kumas is here today. Let's give her a round of applause. As well as building and grounds. And thank you so much, Public Safety, for all of that. Thank you so much. So at this time, we're here for what you came for. It's our candle-lighting ceremony. Joining me is a student who's going to be graduating next semester. Thank you so much. Assisting us today will also be Miss Audrey Maroney, who's an amazing human being who's in charge of the practice lab. So many times the students say they can't come home to cook dinner because the practice lab and the resources that are here for them. Miss Maroney is an amazing part of this team. Thank you, Miss Maroney. Roslyn John. Kevin Lim. Clemens Shi. Shanice Bartley. Karima Grant. Miriam Levy. Diana LaForest. Kimberly Laline. Angela Morales. Joanne Castanieres. Irachi Brown. Evnael Nicholas. Shanoy Francis. Yen Sang. Ya Sawiba. Check T.O. Cheryl Grant. Stephen Zhang. Marcia Valdivia. Joe Cruz. Shaniza Bipat. Obagayi Naomi Obagayi. Casey Ann Lawrence. Ching Ching Yu. Farangees Hogajalieva. Meng Ying Chan. Shin Chai. Onika Noble. Simranpreet Plaha. Lingyu Gang. Hanan Rojas. Katina Fort. Ziamara Aguilera. Ezriani Koch. Tatiana Poletskaya. Benita Langford. Abriana Reyes Chavez. Cheryl Alba. Fiona Hunter. Nayla Walters. Michaela Simpson. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the graduating class of Fall 2025. Okay, thank you. You have earned it, but I think I'm going to put some of your families in timeout. But thank you so much. You've earned it. This takes a team. At this time, the graduates will perform the Nurses Pledge, which will be led by two outgoing members of the Student Nurses Association, Nayla Walters and Michaela.
I will strive with all my being, and with the help of God, to become an open, honest, kind, and diversified individual. In doing so, I will attain the qualities essential in the practice of nursing. For it is only after realizing one's self-worth we are able to promote that of others. Deliverance of high-quality health care is of essential importance. But let us also reach beyond a treatment or diagnosis. And remember that entrusted to my care is a human being, with all the loves, hates, fears, and idiosyncrasies that are an integral part of the human species. Let me not grow too comfortable in my knowledge, but actively seek out new information or continuance of my education. Being a nurse requires continuous growth. I dedicate myself to this cause and my life to the profession of nursing.
Graduates, you may turn off your candles. Graduates, please be seated. You can clap. Our outgoing president of the Student Nurses Association, with a very robust audience present, Shade, Miss Michaela Simpson will give the address to her classmates.
Whew, right? Distinguished guests, mistress of ceremony, faculty, staff, family, friends, and the stars of today's show, my fellow graduates, good afternoon. My name is Michaela Simpson, and it is truly an honor to stand before you today as the farewell speaker for the class of Fall 2025. I want to take a moment to acknowledge every single person who came out today to celebrate us. Your presence, your cheers, your love, we felt it. This moment means more to us than you could ever know. Thank you for being here to witness one of the proudest moments of our lives. Dr. Reichert, the head of our nursing department, thank you for your leadership, your support, and for always advocating for your students. Your dedication to this program and to us did not go unnoticed, and it truly made a difference. We thank you. Three years ago, some of us standing on this stage today could never have imagined this moment, not even in our wildest dreams. Graduation felt distant, uncertain, maybe even impossible, and yet here we are, standing together, proof that perseverance, faith, and support can carry us further than we ever thought possible. From the very beginning, Queensborough challenged us. The prerequisites tested our discipline and determination. We studied relentlessly, chased grades, and learned early that nothing about this journey would be handed to us. Then, we entered the nursing program, and we were held to an even higher standard. Our professors treated us not like students, but as nurses from the very first day of classes. The very first day of classes. At that time, we didn't fully understand it, but today, we are deeply grateful. Our nursing instructors were never just professors. They were mentors, advocates, guides, and sometimes the calm voice we needed when everything felt overwhelming. Our professors made sure we were prepared for the real world. Every clinical, we stepped in with responsibility. We administered medications carefully, performed our 3 checks, sometimes 10 times, not because it was required, but because as student nurses, we were learning what it meant to be responsible for a life. Our professors instilled in us that precision, safety, and accountability save lives. Along the way of nursing school, we became many things. We became lawyers, passionately debating whether the questions were fair. We became mathematicians, calculating exactly what percentage we needed on the final after every 3rd exam. We diagnosed ourselves with every condition we learned, and at some point, we even wondered if Florence Nightingale truly meant well when she founded nursing. But in the midst of it all, something beautiful happened. We found another family. Stop. Whew. Sorry. Friendships formed in nursing school are different. Study partners became long-lost siblings. We leaned on each other during the hardest moments and celebrated every small victory together. Whew, I'm so sorry. I didn't plan to cry. Thank you. I really didn't plan to cry, I promise. Who? Queensborough is a reflection of diversity at its best. As a Jamaican island girl, I can say what... As a Jamaican island girl, I can say with pride that QCC is a place where no one feels out of place. Different cultures, backgrounds, and stories, all united by one goal, the need for excellence. And when things got hard, because they did, Queensborough showed up. Counseling services, advocacy resources, tutoring. Remember those days we used to live in the Life Lab, right? And that's actually how I got my first on-campus job, and all the other various support systems. This institution made sure we were never alone, and for that, we are thankful. We humbly also say thank you to God for strength when we were tired, for peace when we were overwhelmed, and for carrying us through moments we didn't think we could survive. We are standing here today because of your grace. To our parents, thank you for motivating us and believing in us when we were exhausted. To our siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, friends, and all loved ones, thank you for supporting us emotionally, financially, and unconditionally. To everyone who prayed for us, encouraged us, and stood by us, this moment belongs to you too. I want to take a special moment to thank my parents who could not be here today in the flesh, but I know they will be the very first ones watching the YouTube video once it's posted. Your love carried me here. Graduates, before we move forward, I challenge you to a final test. One final test. Just one. Okay? Just one. Look out into the crowd. Find the family member or friend you love the most. You see that feeling? Hold on to that feeling. Professor Rossi always reminded us, when you enter a patient's room, you treat that patient like the family member you love the most. Give them the best care you can, no matter the diagnosis, and always say, thank you for allowing you to care for them. Carry that love into every room you walk into. Let it guide your hands, your voice, and your heart. Nursing is not just about what we do. It's about how we show up. And now, graduates, it's time to say goodbye. We bid farewell to the sleepless nights. We bid farewell to the endless studying and the high anxiety in that testing lab. We bid farewell to the dosage calculations on the very first day of every class. And with great joy, I'm sure we bid farewell to simulation labs. But we carry forward the lessons, the discipline, and the confidence this nursing program instilled in us. So today, let us raise our lamps to us, to the journey that shaped us, to the faith that carried us, to the friendships that sustained us, and to the nurses we have become. We earned this moment. We did. We earned this moment. We are prepared and we are ready because we know that we were trained by some of the best nurses and we attended one of the best nursing programs in the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Who's peeling the onions? One more thing. We've thanked a lot of people here today. You've thanked your family, you've thanked your friends, you've thanked your faculty, you've thanked God, the omnipotent. I am proof he exists. Thank him. I want you to thank one more person. Ladies and gentlemen, you just graduated nursing school. Who would you like to thank? That's enough. Self-praise is no recommendation. But you've earned that for not giving up. In the words of Snoop Dogg, I want to thank me for all those nights you missed, for not giving up on me. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close to the end of the ceremony. We're going to do the pinning portion, and the students will line up in the auditorium. I ask that you please let the graduates leave the auditorium before you do for an orderly fashion. Thank you so much. The students have selected the following faculty member to assist with the pinning: Professor Janice Malloy and Professor Christine Pagano, who's also one of the advisors. Graduates, please rise. Thank you, girl. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. It's been my pleasure to be your mistress of ceremonies. Term mistress seems kind of an old term, but anyway. Thank you so much for coming. We ask that the graduates leave the auditorium first and have a wonderful, wonderful day.